From one big event to the next, Detroit is now getting ready for the Grand Prix.
It is exciting. The big weekend kicks off May 31st in downtown Detroit, and it will be all hands on deck. Jordan Burroughs joins us now live on your block in downtown Detroit with a longtime volunteer. Jordan, good morning.
Sandra and Chris, good morning. We talked to some higher-ups, those that are pretty much getting this race together. We talked to the communications team, but now we've got to talk to one of the volunteers who also works for GM. Guys, this is Deb Alrutz. Deb, thank you for joining us this morning. You got your show car team jacket on this morning. I know you said it's a little cold, but thank you for joining us this morning. You volunteered here for almost 10 years now. Why did you initially sign up to volunteer for the Grand Prix?
Well, that's a great question. There was an article that went out on the GM newspaper for the GM internal Socrates page that said they were looking for volunteers, and I was at one of those points in my life where I wanted to meet new people and do something different, and so I decided, what the heck, I knew nothing about IndyCar racing, and I signed up.
And now you know everything about IndyCar racing.
I know a lot more about IndyCar racing than I did when I started.
How has this changed, either the volunteer experience or the Grand Prix itself? Sure, more people have come here, and obviously they want to be bigger and better every year, but for you, what's changed since then?
Well, the biggest change was the switch from Belle Isle to downtown. We really capitalized on a lot of excitement from folks who, oh, I remember going with my parents, my grandparents back in the day, and it was just really cool to see people ramped up about coming into the city of Detroit, and I love that part.
What do you like about seeing the fans come down here? What do you usually hear from kids and adults who just love IndyCar?
Now, that's actually a question I can't really answer. I work in food services.
Okay.
I see the other volunteers. I certainly talk to people who have been here and talk about what a great time it's been. They just love the excitement.
Your job's arguably just as important, though. You got to feed people when they come down here.
Personally, I think it's one of the most important jobs. Because
that's where you'd find me, Deb. Hey, so you were talking to the other volunteers, right? Is it of all ages, all different backgrounds, people wanting to do exactly as you did, meet new people and help out with the Grand Prix?
Give back to the community. There's so many reasons why people volunteer. Some of the volunteer jobs put people really close to the excitement of the track. That's what they love. We do take volunteers that are 16 and 17 years old as long as they're working with an adult. 18 years old and up, they're free to sign up for whatever interests them.
How long do you think you're going to be a volunteer for?
As long as there's a Grand Prix in Detroit.
I mean, I think probably, hopefully, indefinitely, there'll be a Grand Prix here for a long time. What is your favorite part of the race? Do you at all get to come out and maybe to the grandstand or the parking garage? Do you get to watch the race at all?
We have monitors in the food service area, so I can catch the race there. It's just crazy busy. I hit the ground running, slicing up bagels and getting coffee ready for the volunteers.
You're speaking my language, Deb. Slicing up bagels and coffee.
Come and see me, Hart Plaza, at 6 o'clock in the morning, any race day, and I will be there.
So you'll be here Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
I will be here Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday because there's setup that we'll do on Thursday.
Yeah, so what are those, 12-hour days, I assume? Long days?
Easily.
Oh, my gosh, Deb, you're awesome. So many people just like you, Deb, getting to volunteer down here at the Grand Prix. We're on pit lane. Obviously, there'll be volunteers all around the Grand Prix, all around the circuit, so that's awesome. Deb Alrutz, Deb, thank you so much. And, I mean, you're almost on a decade of volunteering, so that is great. Bagels and coffee. If people are down here, they're going to see you. Deb Alrutz, thank you, Deb, for joining us. Chris and Sandra, Deb was a gem, right? I mean, if you're going to volunteer down here, you might as well do it in food services.
Yeah, Deb's keeping things going.
She's going to be busy if she's getting the bagels and coffee nearby.
All right. Jordan, thank you so much. And we should point out the Detroit Grand Prix is on the 31st, May 31st through June 2nd, happening in downtown Detroit. You can get tickets on the Grand Prix website, DetroitGP.com. You can also buy tickets in person at the West Box office right there on Jefferson Avenue, the GM Renaissance Center, or the East Box office on Woodbridge Avenue. A free pre-day is taking place on Friday, May 31st, and a ticket for that is not required.